There's something wrong with Joe. The evidence is just overwhelming. And I'm sorry, I'm not making fun of dementia or anything like that. But for the political leader of the free world, it's just getting really awkward.
And some of the when the political coverage,
what do we do now? What am I doing now?
Finelli, excuse me, Finel, and what am I doing here?
A question that has baffled some of the greatest minds on planet Earth.
Well, folks, you know, you don't have to stand every time I hear hail to the chief wonder, where the hell is he? Took me a long while. You think I'm joking? I'm not. Turn around and where's the president?
Some of this is actually quite sad. It's almost like it's a cry for help.
She's fine. It's me. That's not together.
This doctor talked about signs of dementia back in 2020.
Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Does he have some type of dementia, or is he exhibiting early warning signs of dementia?
And although the doc was quite skeptical at the time, look at what he said and compare it to how Biden has behaved since.
Memory problems really stand out, especially short-term recall.
And we're also joined today by Larson and I know.
Have you decided, sir, whether to go to Saudi Arabia?
No, not yet. No. There happens to be a larger meeting taking place in Saudi Arabia. That's the reason I'm going.
It's that short-term recall that is much more noticeable in terms of looking at symptoms that point to dementia.
And the president of South Africa, as I said. Oh, you did? I did not. I did.
Next, we see difficulty concentrating, losing track of the topic.
You like to be able to... Anyway. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping. Well, look.
Getting lost when outside the house. Sometimes people also get lost in their own house. This is considered a more severe symptom.
I get up in the morning and look at Jill and say, where the hell are we?
Getting lost.
That's the President of the United States in his own house.
Sometimes people also get lost in their own house. Other symptoms include going off on tangents, being repetitious, having difficulty finding the right word.
All men and women created by you know the thing.
The administration I served in last.
He forgot Barack Obama's name.
We have a conversion of the road to Damascus. Because now you say, by the way, are you going to stick with the president on the following president? The last guy on this issue?
He's saying that it was President, my boss.
Confabulation. This is when somebody has gaps in their memory and their brain populates memories into those gaps. Now, these memories are from other events, so the stories that they tell don't make any sense.
I was doing Villanova's commencement, and one of my nuns from school was getting her doctorate degree. I presented it to her, and she said, "That was pretty good, Joe."
The president didn't make a commencement speech.
No, but let me talk for a second. I'm a professor.
So confabulation is considered a fairly severe symptom.
Getting a lot of reaction after saying he used to drive an 18-wheeler. During a visit to a Mack truck assembly plant yesterday. Well, the White House is struggling to defend the claim since driving a big rig requires a special license for one, and while there is nothing in Biden's history to suggest he's ever actually done this.
We also see difficulties with agitation, anxiety, paranoia.
Fewer, not more, fewer. What do you do over there? So when did I say I was coming? I said.
Read what I said and tell me. Read the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same.
Lost your child. You lost your child. It's gone.
I don't know if Biden has dementia or not.
The doctor said that in 2020, but as you've seen, the last 2 years of Biden's antics somewhat fit the bill. Jill Biden says
it's ridiculous
to question Joe Biden's cognitive abilities.
That's ridiculous.
Really? Is that why you have to tell him what to say when he forgets to say God bless America on July the 4th?
Thanks.
God bless America.
Okay, and
God bless America. Thank you.
thanks.
God bless America.
Or you have to remind him who he's running for president against.
What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of Georgia, he's going to find ourselves in a position where 4 more years of Georgia, he's going to...
You know, a lot of times when you're around somebody who's in cognitive decline, you find yourself trying to help them with the sentence, trying to help them complete it and saying, oh, no, that's not what you really mean. Let me help you complete the sentence.
Georgia, he's going to... Looking for my mask. I'm in trouble.
I'm so glad I finally found you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the vice president of the...
Now it's all starting to make sense.
Last week, President Harris and I...
Biden was even photographed holding a cheat sheet given to him by his advisors instructing him on how to enter a room, say hello, sit down, talk to other people and then depart. Why on earth does the President of the United States need an instruction manual on how to behave like a normal human? That's like something you give to a nervous 5-year-old who's about to do his first elementary school class presentation. He also keeps reading teleprompter cues as if they're part of the speech.
Because of the actions we've taken, things have begun to change. End of quote. In the past 3 weeks, the ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. Women are not without electoral and/or political or maybe personal.
And whose idea was it for him to recite the acronym of the alphabet, people?
Combat discrimination against LGBTQI, plus.
I'll let him off on that occasion. No one knows the full extent of that one. Oh yeah. And he's still doing that weird sniffing thing. You'd think one of his advisors would have a word. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems doubtful that smelling children in public is going to convince those swing voters.
My butt's been wet.
My butt's been wiped.
My butt's been wet.
But it takes on an altogether more serious tone when some of these verbal gaffes appear to be declarations of war.
It sounded like he told U.S. troops they were going to Ukraine. It sounded like he said it was possible the U.S. would use a chemical weapon, and it sounded like you were calling for regime change in Russia, and we know...
None of the three occurred.
None of the three occurred?
None of the three. And you're going to see when you're there, and some of you have been there. For God's sake, this man cannot remain power.
Uncle Joe's cognitive degradation isn't just some hyper-partisan Republican talking point. The Democratic establishment must know. It just doesn't seem like he's gonna make it, and they're already making moves to have him replaced. The New York Times has written 6 hit pieces against Biden in the last month alone. According to an NYT poll, only 26% of Democratic voters say the party should re-nominate him in 2024. Listen, when even the regime loyalists at CNN are laughing at your poll numbers, you know you're in big trouble.
Primary voters want a different nominee. 2/3. If you break it down by age, 94% of Democratic primary voters under the age of 30, 94% say they don't want Biden. That is a stunning number.
Yes.
But as with everything else, Biden just seems confused by the whole thing.
That poll showed that 92% of Democrats, if I ran, would vote for me.
A majority of Democrats say they don't want you to run again in 2024.
Left-wing group Roots Action has just taken out a 6-figure ad buy in an attempt to block Biden's 2024 nomination. 15% of his staff have also fled the sinking ship.
And that loss is far greater than former President Obama and Trump. Biden losing 15% in his first year in office. Trump lost 1% by his point, and Obama 4%.
They're also bizarrely acting in public as if Biden isn't even there.
Shunned. Nobody would talk to him. So Biden wandered off looking vacant as a crowd formed around a former president, Barack Obama, who was obviously deeply grateful for the attention. And then it got worse. It got much more poignant than that. Watch Biden try to horn in on the conversation swirling around Obama. Everyone involved in that conversation, including Kamala Harris, who supposedly works for Biden, ignored Biden completely. Biden desperately tried to get Obama's attention. He puts his hand on Obama's shoulder. He even calls him Barack, like they're friends. But Obama blows him off. He acts like Biden's not even there. Ask yourself if you have ever in your life seen anything sadder than this. Make it stop. It's awful.
There was even speculation that the White House were considering using a Biden hologram to deliver speeches. If anything, Trump supporters should be Biden's biggest advocate, because in a public forum, he'd get crushed. I mean, Biden was already ropey in 2020. They had to keep him in a basement and put him to bed in the afternoon. Can you imagine him in debates 2 years from now? He can barely string a sentence together as it is.
You don't see this? Like, you guys out of your fucking mind? You don't see that this guy can't talk right anymore?
Yeah. Over 50% of this country does not believe he's cognitively fit to be our commander-in-chief.
They'd be better off giving Hunter Biden his crack pipe and putting him up on stage to debate Trump. At this point, he'd probably be more coherent than his father.
Chocolate chip.
It's absolutely crucial for you to help me fight the war on free speech by supporting me via Subscribe Star, link in description, and also signing up for my free newsletter at summit.news/newsletter.